Hi Sagittarius. Happy birthday to those November Sagittarius is out there. All information to work with me one-on-one is below if you're looking for maybe a birthday reading. And the extended version of this reading will be below, where you can get more in-depth into this reading, or we get more in-depth into the reading. Patreon is a monthly subscription. Here I am trying to put two words together at once. That is not how it works. And we get more insight about the themes that come up, the topics that come up. Venus has gone into Sagittarius, so I'm sure love and money are on the table. And then, of course, this is for Sagittarius risings. This is a 12th house month. So the subconscious is dream world. Everything is active and being active, and things are being revealed to you at this time. This is about you, what's being revealed to you about a few things. You may have been like hidden from yourself. Your luck has hidden, your fortune has been hidden behind some fear, or you've been holding on to something, and the only way for this to move forward is for you now to acknowledge and not just acknowledge the fear, what you're afraid of or what you're trying to protect. It's just, how does that go along with the luck? Or is this Jupiter retrograde in Gemini? Having you take a look back for any Sagittarius placements, this is your opposition. So for those of you with Sagittarius in the first house, the 7th house, you will be maybe taking a look and whether deepening commitments, going over agreements, negotiations in your romantic arena, whether you're with someone or you're not, you may be going over, what went wrong, not necessarily that it has to be wrong, but what changed everything, what hasn't been working for you, what is working for you, what are you afraid to talk about, what are you afraid to bring up? It almost feels like it's holding something back. Something's being held back. And it's during this retrograde that you recognize, or during this time until I think February, that you have an understanding of how your luck works. I think we talked a little bit about that, but how your luck works, and where you maybe are using it where it could be benefited somewhere else in your life at this time. Either way, you're learning. You may be breaking down some ways of how you once did something and now you are seeing a different way of doing it as well. And although that can be a stubborn area for you because whatever has worked until now. However, if you choose to follow this inkling, if you choose to not be so stubborn in the way that you think, there can be an idea that sets a path. It's like a premonition. You have an idea, something that can become some form of longevity, some form of money. Longevity in money, longevity in career, longevity in the idea. The idea becomes something more than just an idea. Not that the idea itself, of course, who's to say what's more important, but the idea comes and it's what you do with it. It's how you nurture it. It comes up, and do you just ignore it? What's kept you from ignoring it? What's kept you from putting that into play? What's kept you from speaking up and deciding? What is the security within yourself that you're missing? Is there someone you're afraid to ask for money? Are you afraid to talk about money? Do you not feel secure enough in yourself at this time? This month is preparing you for that. Anything that has been hidden in these areas of your life are now coming out for you to address. You're starting to also speak. For some of you, the more that you speak, the more that you address whatever you've needed to communicate, whether it be with yourself maybe building yourself up to take this adventure, to move this forward, to act on this idea. If you need money, or if you need help, or whatever it is that you need to get yourself to believe what you're saying, to feel secure in what you're talking about and the idea that you have, and that you can, and you are secure enough within yourself, regardless of what financially you have on the table. And I'm not saying to take any, stupid risks. I don't have to say stupid either. Any uncalculated risks, of course. However, there is an intuitive side of you. There's an instinctual side of you when you get down to it. And there's something that you're seeing here, and that the adventure is about just setting forward and deciding. And you may not decide until towards the end of the month, or you may have multiple decisions to make in order to make the bigger decision. Wherever you don't feel, it's also about a confidence thing. So if you're not feeling confident about something, or confident in yourself to put this forward, just think about all the other things that you have had the confidence enough to put forward, and not allowing it to go onto the back burner. Interesting. Hanged Man and the strength. Yeah. Well, what you need is to have strength and faith in this idea. Strength and faith in what you're digesting. Strength and faith in having that you're in a place where you may not be, quote unquote, moving all that much, but a lot is moving through your mind. A lot is moving through your body. A lot of things are coming up. So if it's something like that has many layers, you may just be outlining the body of work right now. Like what labor, what financially, what physical labor, what mentally you have to put into this. Everything that you need to be able to be responsible for, have energy for, all of those things are going to come up. And it's about maybe taking things day by day, deciding what's important day to day, right? Maybe you can't tackle it all at once, and you're someone, of course, that can see the bigger, but the Hanged Man is telling you to come down into the details right now. Just do one thing at a time, the best that you can, and know that that is how you gain strength in this matter. The more that you come back to the table, if you're a painter, the more that you come back to the brush, the more that you come back to it, every moment, letting yourself find your flow. Also, be careful with this idea. Don't just share it with anyone. Of course, share it in within a secure arena with secure people, especially if you're wanting to develop this even further. You may need to have some patience. Jupiter is also asking us to have patience at this time, and you being ruled by Jupiter, you may be the one who feels like you have the lesson in patience right now. And at a time where you may feel like you have it and you're fine, is just the moment that it flips. All of a sudden you're like, wait, where did this come from? Why is this happening? Also, if there's any power dynamics happening between money, it's time to find your way forward. It's time to find your way in this idea. If it brings you a certain job or whatever, it brings you a certain person in your life, and something fortunate then happens to you, you have a moment to weigh things out, and it's about how you want to use that time. Do you want to stress about the decision, or do you want to allow yourself to have everything that you need at the forefront? Because anyone and anything that's trying to offer you something like a quick fix or like quick money right now may not be in your best interest. Be very discerning about who you work with, who you share money with. Take a look at how it's affected you in your past. Maybe if it's just at anything, looking at love and money this month, the Venus stuff, and how you digest that mentally. And if you feel like you're at a standstill or you feel stuck, it's time to nurture the place that you're in. You may not be stuck. You can transform that into, again, patience. What do you do while you're waiting? What do you do while you're being patient? What happens then? And again, like I said, and that's when you have funny, we'll go back to when you have this moment. This is a moment of upheaval or sudden change in your life. You may find that there is a change in path and direction of money. If this is love, you may have to have conversations until you feel secure enough in each other's presence. If you're someone who is single and has some prospects, there may be some people out there, but I would say to take things slow at this time. Let yourself and as you do, but let yourself come to know this person, but not care too much about them where you almost feel like you need to be in their life. I don't think you know that you do that maybe sometimes, but you don't necessarily have to be that here. This is where you have to decide maybe sooner rather than later what this is, what it is. You know, when you have that moment and you come to that like conversation of like, what is this? What are we doing? Yeah, those conversations might be real, especially if you're entertaining some people. So be straightforward, you know. You'll still have fans, of course, but be straightforward. This looks like Pluto. This looks like the end of the month. This looks like you being very clear by this time, especially if you take care of yourself. This is like hygiene that's happening. Anything that's being revealed to you right now is for your own financial hygiene. But mental as well. The thing is, Sagittarius, even if you meet people who want to cling on to you and want a part of your luck and want to be a part of your, you know, really cool, adventurous life, it's just like, even if you start to form attachment to them because you know that you're going to have to almost leave them behind, you know, you got to let yourself leave them behind. Because there might be an adventure and something that you may have to make a decision about, and that's why life is saying maybe don't get too close to anyone you might have to leave behind in a way that will also adjust your decision when you need to be adjusting your decision to yourself right now and what you really want and what's going to be good for you and where you're going at this time. I think by then you also realize that you have entertained, and you may feel like a really clear, like, oh, I have been entertaining, or I have been approached by some, you know, lack of a better word, some BS, and now you're clarifying your direction. You're seeing yourself, you know, especially if there's any power dynamics, like with putting people on pedestals right now, it's really important that you find yourself not doing and finding the attachment in that way, because these situations are really just trying to take you away from what you're supposed to be doing right now, where your attention's supposed to be paid right now. And it may not feel clear in the beginning of the month going through 12th house, of course, but your identity is shifting. You're making decisions about what this identity looks like moving forward and how secure you feel moving forward and how secure you feel about saying and being okay with what you want, what you're looking for, what you're going after, maybe your dreams. And again, you don't have to say it to anyone. This is about a conversation with yourself and your higher power even, or the security within yourself. You could also have an earth sign give you really good advice at this time, and it would be really wise to listen, because whether it's exactly true or the opposite of it is true, you're going to get the insight that you need come time to rest, come time to take a moment, because in that time where you're developing that strength, that's when this tower moment happens. It's right around that curve of into Sagittarius season around the 19th when Pluto, I know Pluto's being emphasized right now, but it's true. It's like, yes, it's just like how Libra season was happening, but Venus was in Scorpio, Mercury's in Scorpio, and there's this just vibe, and then we had the Aries full moon, and yes, it was Libra season, it did feel like that, but there was this watery, with bursts of fire and energy, right? For better or for worse, for creativity or for separation, for crossing the bridge or burning it. This month, it's a very watery, dreamy month. Your finances will come up, where you spend your money, where you spend your energy, what you've been avoiding possibly by doing that even, right? And in order to commit to the future, you have to commit to maybe a financial plan, maybe a different one than you have now. You might have to go over that with your partner, or you're addressing the parts of you, if you're looking for love or you're looking for a relationship or whatever you define as a relationship. It's about it's whatever's going to come up may address you, and may address you in those deeper places, in those patterns. It feels more like a transformation this month, and it's not something you're not prepared for. It's just a different kind of strength. This is developing the strength of the emotions and the mind and how that connects to make the decisions to move forward, because the Tower moment comes and you almost walk away with that fire burning. It's that it's that movie those movies where the fire is burning and you're walking away and you're looking behind, right? The world looking behind, and here you are, and then you just let the scarf go, let the debris go, and you keep walking forward. That's the kind of power that you will feel moving forward in your life. In whatever situation that life is bringing up to you right now, you can handle it. You can see where you have, in some energies, overstayed your welcome. So this could be at the place that you're at, or that can transcend energies in time. People coming back, jobs coming back, anything during the retrograde towards the end of the month coming back up will show you what emotionally you have or have not left behind, and mentally you have or had not left behind. And now it gives you the time to address those things if you would like. It's like you're clearing up anything that is in the way of your season and you going after exactly what you want, or putting your energy in exactly what you want, Sagittarius. Your identity is shifting in a way that will be beneficial, because halfway through the month, less than halfway, Venus moves into Capricorn. So you want to know a little bit about where you want to put this energy, where you'd like to drive it in the physical, and how you want to communicate that physically, what that looks like physically. At times of rest, you may feel stuck, but don't make it feel stuck. Make it luxurious. Make it like a Leo would make it. If you're deciding between an earth sign and a Leo, a Virgo and a Leo, Tower moment suggests you may not have to decide. They may decide for you. Pluto may decide for you. If anyone's pressing you or forcing you into anything, I would take that as a sure sign that is not going to make it. However, that doesn't mean compromise isn't real. Hard talks won't have to happen about the future, about how you see things going. Again, the bigger picture. What are you learning here? What's being addressed? But again, major power at the end of, I was about to say the road. I've been watching Agatha all along, a lot. At the end of the month, and what opens up for you in order to address whatever has been energetically in your field, maybe even physically, that's taken up space in your field, and to close it down, learning to protect yourself even more. If you're interested in that, that's something that you might want to do. And that's just even by like how you treat yourself, what you expose yourself to. Again, those boundaries that you have this month within the realms, you may want to clarify those a little bit more. Maybe talk to someone who has some information. Maybe you tap into that witchier side of you. If you're not, you bring it out even more. You really go into the parts of you that you know bring you back to yourself. Always, always. I like this. This is like a maturing with your look. This is longevity. This is, yeah. This is big. This is exciting. Pluto Aquarius. Lots of communication there. Pluto's transiting from your second house of money, which is why I'm also having you be ready, because that's another thing that's so on point here. And going into your house of communication, your day-to-day, shaking that up for the next 20 years for Sag risings. But this will affect Sag suns too. All right. Well, it's nice being with you here, Sagittarius. Again, happy birthday to those early Sages. Thank you always for showing up and supporting. I love that consistently these videos, you really do show up here for me, and I really appreciate my Sagittarius so much. You're so strong, you're so capable, and you're so ready for this change. You just have to be willing to address it and face it in a way that is compassionate. Equally as compassionate as you are, as equally physically strong. And then if you are feeling heavy in any kind of way, you may feel a release. No promises. Try it out. All right, and the next part will be the first link below, where we get even more. We're going to get more into Jupiter. Mars is going into Leo for a little bit. Pluto. Venus is all over this as well. Then we have Mercury. We also have, what are you digesting? What's your heart learning? How are you expanding in your purpose? How are certain people bringing it up? Boundaries, yeah, where it's no longer fun to set fires unless it's about chasing your dreams. And what even symbolism, I wrote down symbolisms. These are the symbols. I think the pentacle may be your symbol this month, and some fire, maybe. Okay, we'll see you in the next part. We'll see you on YouTube. Thank you so much again, and happy birthday. We'll see you soon.